Oscar buzz this year is focused on a little movie called Juno, but our next guest says that the film sends some mixed messages. In case you haven't seen it, take a quick look.
I doubt anyone's going to throw us a shower.
Why wouldn't they throw you a baby shower?
Well, I don't think people know how to feel about the situation because it's not set in stone.
What isn't set? No. You don't think that I'm going to flake out on you?
No, I don't, Juno. We went through a situation before where it didn't work out.
Yeah, cold feet.
Oh. Should have gone to China. You know, because I hear they give away babies like free iPods.
Oh, my God. Okay, so is big screen divorce just movie magic, where our good friend Bud Klueck is here to tell us how Hollywood often gets it wrong? Hi, Bud.
Hi, Chrissy.
Good to see you.
This is part of Bud's universal rule. And the universal rule is that whatever you know or I know about an actual situation in real life, when you see it depicted on the big screen or the little screen or the bigger screen nowadays in television, you know that it's not right. You and I could go and see the movie Rambo, for example, which has to do about mercenary soldiers in the third world. Now, never having been a mercenary soldier in the third world, you and I probably would believe everything they say. But actual mercenary soldiers, in seeing Rambo, would say, you'd never use that kind of a weapon in the swamp. What are they pulling here?
It's fiction. Right. It's movies.
And the same thing with me. When I see Law and Order, I'm saying, he sustained that objection. No judge would ever sustain an objection like that. You know, and I'm screaming at the television screen. And so the more you know about a real-life situation, the less the movie depiction or the TV depiction is going to seem realistic to you. And that certainly was the case regarding the movie Juno, which is very popular.
Okay, in this movie, there was a topic of collaborative divorce. And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that couple that you saw in the clip, earlier in the film, they meet with Juno and her dad, and an attorney is there. An attorney is there to talk about doing the paperwork for this potential adoption that they're discussing, which they were discussing in that clip. Right. And later in the film, one character says to another that they want a divorce. Actually, it's a husband telling a wife that he wants a divorce. And the person says, the husband says, you know, this attorney, whose name is Greta, Greta can represent us both in a process called collaborative divorce, which is all the rage. Yes. Well, collaborative divorce may be all the rage, Chrissy, but they can't have one attorney representing both sides. So that wouldn't be, an attorney can't represent both people, just one. So there have to be, what, two attorneys and what else? Of course. You cannot represent both the husband and wife in the same divorce action because it would be an obvious conflict of interest. So in collaborative divorce, it's actually a team approach, Chrissy. Both husband and wife have their own collaborative attorney. They also both have what's known as a divorce coach. Now, these are mental health professionals which help them to communicate better during the divorce process and to help them through the psycho-emotional aspects of the divorce. They are not therapists. I mean, the same people may be therapists in other areas of their practice, but when it comes to collaborative divorce, it's a much more focused thing. If you want to sit on a couch and talk about what your mother did to you when you were 10 years old, this ain't that. This is much more focused. Talk to your therapist about that. Exactly. So it sounds like an actual, normal divorce where people have lawyers, but there's also another set of people that are there to protect you emotionally from making mistakes during the divorce. Right. There's also a child specialist to work with the kids to get through their psycho-emotional issues and also to represent the kids' point of view during any negotiations. And there's a joint financial specialist because if you think about it, the financial pie has not expanded. It's the same amount of dollars, but now it's got to support two households. And also, these are people that were planning to grow old together and to retire together, and that ain't happening. So you have to do short-term, medium-term, and long-term financial planning, and there's somebody there to help the parties do it. So it's really a team approach, and that's what collaborative divorce is, which of course is very different than what is depicted in the movie Juno. Not even close, I'm glad they reference collaborative divorce, and I'm kind of glad they said it's all the rage, but I wish they'd get it right. But again, that's Bud's ironclad rule. The more you know about something, when you see it on the big screen in a movie, the more you know that's just not right.
Well, it sounds really, and I certainly don't know, but it sounds more like arbitration, what they were kind of getting at. You know, if it's just like one person, kind of like an arbitrator kind of representing.
That's a good point, Chrissy. Yes, there are times when I am in the room alone with just the husband and the wife, but I am acting as a mediator, not so much an arbitrator, but a mediator.
Yeah, mediator, that's
right,
it. See?
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to get the two parties to come to an agreement and use my techniques to do that. But I'm not representing husband and I'm not representing wife in that context.
Right.
I am a neutral.
Got it. Bud Klueck, you are so much fun to have on the show. Thank you for clearing that up. You know what, man? I tell you what, people get the wrong idea about that stuff and it could make a difference for the rest of their lives. So thanks for clearing that up.